Hey, welcome to the lesson of impression of increase. And this lesson is it's geared around a book written by Wallace Wattles. He wrote the book, The Science of Getting Rich in 1903. And he actually called it A Science of Getting Rich. And it's a good question to ask, why did he call it a science? And I've not done this before on M3, but I wanted to pull up the definition of science. So science, the definition in Google, the first thing that pops up is the intellectual and practical activity encompassing the systematic study of the structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experiment. And another definition is a systematically organized body of knowledge on a particular subject. So we take from that that science is actually in the business of seeing how the physical world acts and predicting outcomes. So you set an outcome and then you set an experiment, and when you get this outcome, that's science. When you don't get that outcome, we say, why does that happen? But we can say that there's a science of biology, how our bodies work, and we know that that's how our bodies work. Medical science studies our bodies in that fashion, and they're always predicting outcomes. And it's a very practical approach, is the best way that I know to getting an outcome. And the cool part about this book is that he called it The Science of Getting Rich, which implies that what he was teaching was a systematic approach to receiving riches. And what are riches, by the way? Riches is it's getting what you want. That's what rich basically is. It can be rich health, rich in, you could be rich financially, money, family, relationships, business, but it's really getting what you want, and that there is a systematic approach to doing that. It's fascinating to me because he's not saying that it's not predictable. What he's saying is that you can actually take certain steps and you can get the outcome of producing abundance in any area of your life. And if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. It's an amazing book. It's in very simple terms that he writes the book, and it's very unintentionally inspirational as you hear how he talks about how your thinking produces your results in your outside world, and how you can take that thinking and change it so you can get the results that you want. Fascinating book, and it's a fascinating audio listen also. So this lesson is the lesson of impression of increase, and it's based really on a chapter of this book, chapter 14, where he talks about doing things in a certain way, and that way is increase. And we apply it in the coaching that way. We're able to open up our success in ways far beyond what it is that we think is possible. So many people think that your success is going to come from one single area, so they get their focus on that area, and when they don't get the results that they want from that area, they can become frustrated. They can give up if they're not getting the results in that area. But that's a very limited way of thinking, and it's based on giving and receiving. That if we're able to set out a vibration so that we're putting out a giving all over in our world, every opportunity that we have, then no longer do we have to look at any single source to produce the success that we want. What we're doing is we're receiving at that point success from every area in our life. That's what this lesson is about. It's not about giving and receiving through the keyhole anymore. It's about opening up the door and letting your success come in from every area of your life. And there's a science to doing that. There's a way of doing that that makes it possible for everybody, everywhere, for everything. Impression of increase. So what Wallace Wattles said is that he said that you don't get rich by doing certain things. You get rich by doing things in a certain way. And what is that certain way? That's the big question, is what is it that you do to cause success to start coming from you from every area? Well, I'll tell you that part of that is that you start behaving as though you're already the successful person that you want. So when you're coming into contact with people out there in the world, or whatever you're doing, you're always putting this vibration, which is we call it feeling, out there in the world that you already have what it is that you want. And so everything and everyone around you starts to respond in favor with that. They respond in kind with that. And the other way of looking at that is that you're always looking to lift others up, and whatever it is, you don't care what you're getting from those people. You're not so consumed or concerned with what you're getting from the people. You're more concerned with what it is that you're able to give, and you're giving them you're giving them the impression of increase by looking for the good in them and then bringing it out, bringing it to the surface, speaking of it, pointing it out, giving sincere, heartfelt compliments, and also being able to give things that help other people. If you're in a business where you have customer service, which all businesses are that one way or another. If you're looking at your customers and saying, well, I'm going to give them something and then they're going to automatically give me something, that's a very limited way of looking at that business, just like what we were speaking of. But the other way of looking at that is what can I leave the person who's interested in what I do? What can I leave them with that helps them, regardless of whether or not they do business with me or not? How can I give them something that helps them in that journey? Maybe they'll come back and work with me, maybe they won't. But what you're leaving them with is an impression of increase. They're always going to think of you as that person who helped them, and they're going to know you as the person who can help them and can help them in the future. In my business, there's a lot of coaches out there and there's a lot of programs out there. And something that I created that I wanted to share to really help people was to help them navigate their way through that. And so I thought, well, what was it that I could do to do that? Well, I created a formula for getting the right coach every time for exactly what you needed. So then people were able to get really clear on what it was that they wanted in the form of a coach, and then go out there and seek that specifically, versus going out there in the world and saying, well, this looks kind of cool and they're promising the world. And we all know that there's a lot of marketing going on out there that promises everything in the world, and they don't deliver quite as much as they promise. And people can give their money and then not get what they wanted. I thought, how can I help them get past that? And how can I help them get really clear on what it was they wanted so they could connect exactly with what they needed? Because coaching is the way. We get what we get in this world. We learn the things that we need to learn in this world through mentorship and accountability. We don't do it by reading books and then trying to go apply something. We actually do it by working with somebody who helps us overcome the things that we need to overcome in this world that are blocking our success. And they hold our hand kind of through the process, just like you learn to walk, like how you learn to speak, until you're able to walk on your own. You're able to see somebody succeeding. You're able to be guided through that process, and then you get success. You have successful attempts in what it is that you're doing, and then you're able to program yourself that that's who you are. So that's what the certain way is leaving everybody and everything that you come in contact with the lesson of increase, with the impression of increase, putting out good everywhere you go, so that that's coming back to you all the time. Now, the flip side of this is understanding competition versus creation. People think that in the world of, they think that the world is lacking. So we look at that there has to be losers out there in the world, but that's, what it is infinite. There's infinite possibilities out there. So it doesn't have to be a thing where people lose in the form of competition, one versus another wins, the other loses. Think in the terms of creation. Creation, when you're creating a better version of yourself all the time, you're not competing with anybody other than your old self. You're just wanting to do better and better. And you know that if you continue to do that, all you're going to do is get better and better and better. And that's what true infinite creation is about. There's no limitation to that. We use, in the full coaching, we use Tiger Woods as an example. There is when Tiger Woods, during his time when he was really on top of everything, and he just kept getting better. It's like he was pulling away from the competition at a rate that was just mind-blowing. And he wasn't even focused on that. The only thing Tiger was focused on is creating a better version of himself as a golfer, as he continued to do that. And there is no lack. People don't have to lose. That's just programming that we have handed to us from other people. competition, each and every one of us is a unique expression of infinite. Each and every one of us, and each and every one of us has unique desires and passions, which your desires and passions are the gifts that you have in this world that you're wanting to share. That's why they're seeking expression. And if everybody was living through creation and creating and bringing forth a better version of themselves in their authentic way and sharing their desires, that desire would be going out there in the world and serving other people, helping other people in their unique way. And so when you look at the world from that point of view, that everybody gets to win in that situation, because the people that are living their passions and sharing their passions fully are actually out there serving the world in the fullest way that they can. So everybody and everything around them is receiving the benefit of that. So we all benefit from that, and we complement one another, because where one is strong, the other is weak. And it's just natural things in the way it's natural in the creation that we're that way. So if you think in infinite, if we were all living to our full potential that way in our unique expression of spirit, we would all be serving each other and the world in a beautiful fashion. There would be no lack. There would be no poverty. There would be nothing like that. There would just be people serving one another in a very harmonious way, in a loving way, because the people serving from their passion would be in that spirit of love too. So remember this, the competition is limited, and creation, that's you getting better and better and better as you grow into your passion. Creation is infinite, and that's what this lesson is all about. And why do we want to do this? We want to remember this, is that energy always flows from the top down. So how is an impression made? You know, an impression is made on our subconscious mind. An impression is made the moment you get emotionally involved in something, the moment it becomes a feeling for you. So you have thoughts that you can create in your conscious mind. You can accept thoughts from the outside in your conscious mind, but it's the moment that you become emotionally involved in a thought that it pushes down into your subconscious mind, and that sets up the vibration. That's the feeling that we have. And we do the things that we do in this world based on feeling. We don't do it because we go, okay, I'm just consciously going to go choose to do something. We do something because we feel we want an outcome. You feel thirsty, so you go get a drink, you know. You feel successful. You feel like you're going to get a successful result from taking an action. That's what causes you to actually go take the action. You feel good, you give good. That's what this is all about. But the moment we make an impression on our subconscious, it puts our body into action. It puts our body into a vibration, and we just take the action. The body's just an instrument. So it's not, we don't need to focus on the action so much as we need to focus on the impression and the feeling that we're getting. Now, why do we look at the stick person this way? Because you can make that same impression on another person's mind, and you are, regardless of whether you think you are or you're not, or you're consciously choosing to do so. When you're out there in the world, you're putting out a vibration and a feeling. Even without your words, you're having people take that feeling on, and they're knowing at their subconscious whether or not they like to be around you or want to be around you, or they don't. If we're constantly in a negative state, then that's what you're going to do. You know, you're going to put out a negative vibration, and all the people that are in a positive vibration, and all the people that have the things that are necessary for your success are not going to come close to you. They're not going to want to come close to you. They're actually going to be repulsed by you, and it's going to appear to you that those things aren't available for you, that success is not available for you. So that's the big key in this, is that you're not only making an impression on yourself, the impression that you're making is you're putting that impression out into the world. And as I said, you're going to be in a positive vibration or a negative vibration. What is positive and negative? Things are neither good nor bad, but thinking makes them so. And for you, whatever it is that you're wanting in the world, and you're feeling as though you're getting it, you're moving toward that, that's when you're in a positive vibration. That's positivity for you. You feel like you're getting something in the world that you want. And the opposite, the flip of that, is in a negative vibration. And that's anxiety, doubt, fear, worry, because you're getting emotionally involved with something that you don't want. That's what the big key is. So you have to take conscious responsibility to understand on your meter, your thermostat, which is just, it just has two settings on it. It has I feel good or I feel bad. And when you're feeling bad, that impression of increase, that certain way that you're doing things, is you're changing that for yourself so that you know that your energy flows from the top down, and it starts in your conscious mind, is that you can choose different thoughts. You can get emotionally involved in different ideas and thoughts so that you can get back into that positive vibration. And it says here, it's created from the top down, and we attract whatever vibration we're in. So taking conscious responsibility for your vibration, that's what's going to make that impression on other people around you and everything that you're doing. So it doesn't matter what you're doing it in this positive way. So you're planting that seed all the time. And again, it's like, you can give the compliments, but you want to do that from a sincere place, because that's how you truly feel. So that's the big key, is you're getting yourself into that emotional setting and that vibration, because you're choosing to feel that way all the time. And you know that that impression is going to be made on other people. And a side effect of that is that you naturally, because you feel good, you seek to share that good feeling with others. And whatever vibration you're in, just like a magnet, we're not made of anything different than the magnet. We're made of energy. And you go down to the molecules and down to the atoms, and it's all just energy vibrating at a certain rate that's experienced, through our eyes, ears, whatever we're using to experience it. But it's all vibration, and that vibration is in harmony with some things and it's out of harmony with other things. And law of attraction states that, you're only going to get what you're in harmony with. And we're the creators of that vibration. We have to take conscious responsibility of this when we're going to do this impression of increase, and open up the door so that your flood of success is coming to you. We have to first take responsibility within ourselves to do that. So the person, place, or the situation, the thing, it doesn't matter. We need to look at that, because there is good and there is bad, there is positive, there is negative in everything. And we need to make a conscious habit of figuring out why things are good. If you didn't get the result that you wanted when you took a particular action, if you're looking for the good in that, you're looking for what it's showing you, in yourself, where you need to improve so that you can get the results that you want. So you can automatically start statements like W. Clement Stone did. Earl Nightingale wrote a book on this about W. Clement Stone. He was the wealthiest man in America in the 70s. It was insurance, I believe, was the field that he was in. But he was the type of guy that it didn't matter what anybody had presented to him. He just said that's good, and he would figure out why it was good later. So he was constantly looking for the good, and that's the vibration that he was in, and he was constantly attracting the good, and therefore he was the wealthiest man in America, like I said, in the 70s. So whatever the person, situation, place, thing is you can ask that question: what's the good qualities of this person? People aren't all bad. And especially if you're working closely with somebody, and right now in your situation, you can't get out of that, you can look for the good in that person, and you'll find it. Seek and ye shall find. So find the good in that person, and consciously make a point to put that front and center for yourself. Or what do you want to come from this situation? What outcome do you want? And get emotionally involved with that and what it feels like having that. You might not need it from the particular situation that you're in, but you want to get in the habit of expecting that at your belief level from the situation as you run into that situation again and again and again. What do I want to come from this situation? List that stuff out, get it out for yourself so that you can consciously see it, and you can start to say, well, yeah, there it is. You can't get something if you don't know what it is. So if you take the time to say, hey, there's the thing, I've written it out, I know what it is that I'm looking for, then when you see the situation again, you're easily going to be able to see like, whoa, there it is. Or it's not this, and I'm looking more for that. I had this happen in my house, getting consciously involved with things, house breaking. And the more I got involved with the house breaking, the more the house broke down. It's an older house, it's a full remodel. And I had to consciously switch this. As I consciously switched this, I was in a situation where the pool pump was not working, and I was finding myself feeling bad. And I said, why am I feeling bad? Oh my gosh, I'm thinking about the next bad thing that's going to happen, the next bad thing that happened. Well, what do I want? Well, that's good. Why is this good? This situation's in front of me. And the construction guy that was with me, what I heard him say right in that instant, it was immediately a really good thing. And I saw it. This is exactly what I wanted. And I knew it. And I latched onto it. When I said it to him, he goes, yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. And so from a situation where I was about to go, things aren't going to go good, automatically I saw the great that was coming from it. And I got emotionally involved with that, and we began to move forward, and it really became a good situation there. So, and why is this challenge good that's in front of me? Well, it's good because it's forcing you to grow into a higher version of yourself. When you think of yourself, you can ask that question: is what does the person that I want to be, what do they do in this situation? And there's some really cool answers that come from that. They act different than you are, especially if you're in a negative vibration right then and there and you're not getting what you want. You can say, what does the person that I want to be, what do they do right now? Powerful question. So image, think about the list of crap that continually, excuse me, it's not image, it's imagine. Imagine. I want to put you into the imaginative state right now. I want you really to get down and imagine this with me here as you feel this. Think about all the list of crap and all the things that continually bug you. And I want you to imagine what your life would be like if that list just disappeared. Like, you can probably list 5 or 10 things right now. And you imagine if that was all just taken care of. And it was replaced with a constant flow of people looking to help you and positive situations in your life. That's the power of this lesson of increase. You have the ability to change your habitual thinking right now so that all that you're receiving is that flood of success. And it's scientific. If you do this, you will get this. That's what Wallace Wattles was talking about. And that's why we share this lesson from his point of view and what he shared and taught. It's scientifically guaranteed that if you change your thinking toward a thing, then that thing will change. You will get a different outcome. How cool would it be to have your list of frustrating things become a list of things that are positive situations, loving situations, and people just looking to help you? So the certain way, Wallace D. Wattles, it's knowing that good is coming. Giving all that you can. You really give your whole heart to help a situation, a person, place, a thing for the pure benefit of just that thing. And knowing that you're the type of person that receives great things in this world. That's why you give it in the first place. That's who you know yourself as now. Increase. You're a person of increase. As he says in the book, you're an advancing man. Everybody sees you and comes in contact with you. It's automatic that they know down at their feeling level that he's going places. She's doing things. She's confident, powerful. And a good way to produce this is by answering this question: how would you behave if you had everything that you wanted? First, you got to find out what it is that you want. But once you have that defined out, you say, well, what would I do? How would I behave if I had that? What feelings would I have? Can I have those feelings now? And then just have them. Just do that and be that. And the more you do that and be that, the more you're attracting those things in your life from everywhere. That is the certain thing. And remember that this just isn't outside situations. This isn't outside people. This includes you. Think of you only in the highest way. If you're not thinking highly about yourself, then just stop and ask yourself, does the God who created you think that about you? Or ask yourself this question: what if I had a loudspeaker on my head that was projecting my negative thoughts about myself to the world? How would that make me feel? You're going to say that, I wouldn't want that shared. I wouldn't want people to hear those negative thoughts. Well, why would you have them then? Well, we have them because they're a habit, and that's what we're working on changing right here. We need to leave ourselves with the impression of increase. Uh, and I want to give one more way of looking at this, and it goes like this: the way that you speak yourself to yourself when you're find yourself talking to yourself and you're not liking the way that you're feeling. If you had a close friend, or you think of one of your close friends, think about how they would feel and how long that they would hang out with you if you spoke to them in that negative fashion. And I think that you understand that they wouldn't hang out with you for long. They wouldn't have you as a friend if you spoke to them that way. But yet you're here with yourself all day long. And that's how you speak with you. So change that and become that person of increase and become your own best friend. Look at yourself from, what did you do well? What's good about what you did today? Finish your day by telling yourself all the great things that you did so that you can set up that vibration, get really pumped up about going out tomorrow and doing great things again, because that's what you know yourself to be. Somebody who goes out and does great things. You take good action toward what it is that you want. Don't spend time talking trash to yourself in your head. It's just a waste of time, and it doesn't do anybody any good. What it really is just a nasty, bad habit. So we need to stop it and replace it with giving ourselves love, compliments, and telling ourselves where we're doing good. So here's the action steps. They're very simple this week. I want you to think of something that's bothering you. And the second thing is I want you to write 2 or more reasons why it's good. That's all. So anything that's bothering you, and I want you to write 2 or more reasons why it's good, and then replace the negative with the positive. Every time you see yourself, every time you feel yourself negative, and you're looking at that situation. And I know that this is not easy to do because it is a habit. People want to just continue to think in that way because that's the normal, 6-lane freeway that's set up in our head. Let's think that way because it's easier to think that way. And you're about to start traveling a beat up dirt road to change this habit. But I promise you, if you continue to travel that dirt road and you start talking good about this thing, then that road is going to get wider and smoother and better. And the way that you're going to do that is constantly repeating it. That's how we learn. We learn through constant spaced repetition. That's the big key with any habit that you're wanting to change, is that you've got to constantly be aware of it and then replace it. Be aware of it and then replace it. And you replace it with what you want. And as you do this, I want you to see just how much your world will change. This is a very powerful thing. It's an understanding that the world doesn't need to change for my life to get better. For my life to get better, I'm the only thing that I can change, and I'm the only thing that needs to change. And we change our constant vibration, and we put out that impression of increase so that the world feels it, receives it, and we get it back. That is the impression of increase, lesson 11 in M3. I hope you all enjoy it and take it and apply it as best you can so that you can get these wonderful results in your life.